365 Days of Horsemanship, day 241. Made it up in the light today, had a nice little session, which was cool. Actually filmed both sessions, which was nice, or parts of. The challenge I'm finding with that is that, like, it's super easy and quick for me to do these, like, vlogs where I talk about the session, what happened. But if I do a voiceover of the video, it's like I've got to go to the video, I've got to find the piece that I want to voiceover, I've got to think about what I want to say, then I've got to film it or record it, and that's like a whole extra like bit of time. So I really want to do it, and I haven't forgotten those of you who have said to me that you really want to see that. But it's just going to take me a little while to work out how to fit that into my schedule. But I had a nice day today. I came up, I brought obviously my camera with me with my little tripod, and that was like a whole new sort of angle to the session. I came to Mia first because Lawrence was having a lovely little conversation over the fence, actually with two of the horses in Mia's herd. And they were like playing all together really nicely, and so I just kind of like didn't really want to disturb him, so I came to Mia first, and basically there was just a lot of herd stuff because everyone wanted to look at the tripod. I've not had it in with her before, and everyone's very interested in it, everyone wants to see it, and basically that was a case of allowing people to have a sniff and then walking past nose to tail. And that was cool because it kind of bothered her a little bit as well, but in a not too dramatic way, where there was lots of walking around and horses moving and she's looking around and just being distracted from the grass. And eventually we settle. She goes to have some water, and sort of her energy's beginning to settle, and then she settles for a rest. And we had a really nice time just resting together, playing with different places, whether I was at touching distance or not touching distance, just kind of around like her left shoulder and her left neck, and just, really staying in places until it got better, and then moving to a new place, staying there, like making sure I wasn't staying anywhere for too long. But actually she was really pretty tolerant and accepting, I would say, of all the spaces, really. There was definitely a couple times where like a little bit of tension came up just as I moved towards her neck. I also had the halter with me. We didn't really do much active work with it. I think she sniffed it maybe once towards the beginning of the session. But I still feel really happy that I had it with me, and it was kind of like something that was a part of the conversation, for sure. I was kind of thinking about it when I was arriving today, that like this goal that I have of wanting to bring them up in the halter is like kind of frustrating, because like I'm kind of mixing my training methods there in a way that I just don't feel that I have the knowledge and understanding to really like be confident about, where really like I think in an idealistic freedom-based world, like I come to my horses and my horses and I like walk down to the arena together without me having to put the halter on, and then we work in the arena on some stuff that we both want to do without having to put the halter on and put that pressure on. So then using freedom-based training to get okay with the halter so that we can go down to the arena to do not freedom-based training is like a really interesting conundrum. So yeah, but I'm kind of like that's a thought that's come to me before, and I'm at this point really trying not to get myself muddled by it, because like the reality also is there are times where I do need to halter the horses. And actually with where I'm at right now in the journey, at the moment, we're just getting comfortable with having the halter on. So like, I don't really need to worry about that. Like, I don't need to let my potential future, what I might do with this, concern me. Like, for now, I just need to get them happy with having the halter on, and then that's like, and then from there I'll decide what I'm going to do next, rather than getting paralyzed by potential future problems for a skill that I haven't even achieved yet. So, and I think that happens to me quite often, where like I'll like paralyze myself about like what aids I should use for what, because I'm worried that then like in 6 months when I'm doing something else that aid won't work well for that, when I'm not even doing that yet because I don't even have the first skill. And it's like, I think sometimes it's like, you know, just like walking before you can run and just focusing on what I'm working on right now. So yeah, so just played around with like just different distances, just super close to her. And it was really nice, actually. Like, I was playing this really interesting game around her ears, where I noticed, like, I feel like Mia is just concerned a lot. I feel like there's just a lot of concern in her life. And I think I just need to bring a little bit more comfort before I can start thinking about curiosity. Like, we need to be able to go between all the 3 states. And definitely, like, even when she's resting, like, her ears are going like a mile a minute. Like, she's always thinking about something. And like, there's definitely such a thing as like being like having a really like deep rest where you're really shut down. And like, I've definitely watched people work through that with their horses before. But with Mia, I think it's like the other way around, where she's like, she needs to just like calm down a little bit. And so today, for the first time, I tried, every time her ears would go, I would move my head just slightly, just to look at whatever it is that she's looking at, until she would be listening to me because I was the biggest sound. And then I would stop and just be still. And that was working quite well. Nothing really happened for a while. Nothing really changed quickly, but I think that's definitely a pattern I would play with again, because I really feel like the psychology of that conversation is strong. So I'd like to come back and play with that again. Definitely when she's comfortable, I think when she's resting is a good time, because I think she could definitely be resting better, and it's a good opportunity for me to like slip into her life and help her with something, and build that relationship that way. So it was good. It was good. Yeah, and I actually finished with, I was starting to get a bit cold, and I was aware that if I took too much longer, I was not going to have time for Lawrence, like mentally, because I was just getting really tired, and cold. So I put my hand on her back and started rocking, and she started moving with the rocking, and then she changed her focus and looked across the field. And so I left it there, which is a really good place, because like I've just rocked her into a focus change. So that was really good. I did wonder when I was leaving if I should have like taken a step to a new place and then taken one breath before I left, or if I literally should just leave, because it sort of felt a little bit sudden. But I guess it's good to leave. I don't know, when she's distracted looking at something else that's good. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I'll ask Elsa about that at some point and she'll tell me. Yeah, so I went to see Lawrence, and basically just took his boots off, which was cool. It was nice. It was really nice to just have a really just chilled out mindset about it, where like I'm really trying to unpick this sort of like immediate thing that I do, where I expect him to be okay with stuff that I think he should be okay with. Like, well, you should be okay with me taking these like boots off. This shouldn't be overwhelming for you because this is an easy task. Well, it's easy for me, and I assume he's going to enjoy that. But for him, that might be a bit overwhelming. You know, like I'm poking and prodding around at his feet. Like I'm asking him to hold his foot up. Maybe he's getting off balance. Maybe his other legs are starting to hurt. There's like a bazillion things that could be happening that could be making the situation uncomfortable for him. And so I just really worked on getting his foot up, like doing as much as he would allow me to do, and then before he felt the need to move, moving myself away, stopping what I was doing, circling back around. If he went for like a hand to nose touch, giving him the hand to nose touch, and then spending a few seconds in flow, like a few breaths in flow, just being together before I would start again. And I was really happy with the energy of how that all turned out. I also was able to avoid an argument with him really nicely, where I was asking for his foot up, and I could see from the way he was standing that he was really putting all his weight on the front foot. And usually what I would do would be to like push him, to use pressure to move him to shift his weight onto another foot. And I didn't really want to do that because I didn't want to step into insistent or dominant leadership. So I'm like doing my sporty leadership, just going up from the chestnut, down to the fetlock and back again on the foot I want to move. I'm thinking at some point, maybe he'll move this foot. And he didn't for quite a while. So I thought, okay, let's try something else. So I came around the other side and actually picked his other foot up, which he picked up straight away, and then placed it down closer to the other foot, so further forward. Came back around and then asked him another couple of times, and then was able to pick the foot up that I wanted. So that was really good. I felt like it was a great like way of thinking around the problem, and I was really happy with that. So yeah, basically got the boots off. I'm really happy with how his feet look. His frog, I mean, the back ones were covered really nicely. There was literally like a hole in the middle of the frog. It was like awful. And yeah, that's grown back really nicely already. So I'm really happy with that. The front one is still a bit tender at the front, but I don't know. I don't think that's actually thrush. I think that might be actually more bruising, just on the soles of the frog. He has had that before. So yeah, I also like, I'm aware that having his feet sort of like squashed up in those boots is not also necessarily ideal. And so while it's really cold at the moment, it's less muddy than it was. And so I really want to give him like a week while it's really cold this week, just to rest from having the boots on, because I think the risk of the thrush returning is less this week. And then next week we can pick them back up again if we need to. But yeah, overall, a good session, happy with everything, happy with the way things went. I definitely would like, at some point, I really just would like to like put the saddle on and ride Mia. And I'm really feeling like maybe that is a session I might do, to kind of like enjoy it for myself, and help her through that. Like, I was surprised by how perceptive and positive she felt after the session where I brought them both in, because I don't know that she had like the best time of her life, but she was really happy to see me the next day. And I think there's something in the kind of interest and the like focus of her doing something that's a little bit more kind of unusual than her daily life. So that's something I definitely would like to do. So I probably will do that, have like a dominant day. So yeah, but all in all, a good one.